Gadramon had demanded to know who the others were to interrupt coming to this meeting uninvited, and they introduced themselves as Magna Garurumon along with Grotamon and Jet Silphamon. Grotamon had said that the humans were taking out their kind, looking angry at Cat and Lucas, though Tinkermon says, "To be fair, you started it," in response to what they'd just said. Grotamon got angry and tried to swing a large hammer with spikes on it at Tinkermon, though the light of Digivolution surrounded her and she digivolved into Darkmon and sliced the head off the hammer from the handle, getting annoyed as Jet Silphamon tried to attack them with her giant pinwheel as Gizamon digivolved into Dark Tyrannomon and spit fire at them, making her have to dodge out of the way. The dragon leader of the Heaven Zone had grown angry by this and called out for them all to stop, saying that they will settle this in the arena, and gestured over to a large coliseum. He told them to go there and they would join the side that had shown to be true. The group then flew over to them, although Anjuomon wanted to help Cat as she'd believed her words, and Marine Anjumon took the side of Lucas. Once it was time to have them fight, Gadramon called out for them to begin the battle. While it was going on, however, Nicole and his group had gotten to the city where the port was waiting for them. They'd gone straight to the terminal, however, instead of looking around, since they'd need to get there a lot faster this time, as they'd waited around at Dusty Poco just long enough to say their goodbyes to Babamon. The waiting was the worst part, as it took a bit to get cleared to go through to the Heaven Zone, but once they were able to go, they'd done so, going there as quickly as possible. They did finally get there, and when they did, there was some sort of fighting going on. Nicole noticed that there were stray blasts coming from the Coliseum and called out for the others to catch up. He'd go investigate what was going on, with Kulamon and himself glowing in the strange blaze of Digivolution before becoming Holy Dratamon once again. Flying off on ahead, the others gave chase on foot. He'd left Kulamon with Kuzahamon to help keep the child safe, as he'd flown towards the arena and saw a large brown Digimon, along with the one that had a giant pinwheel and a humanoid wolf with a bunch of projectiles and a large cannon on one arm. He'd also seen 4 knights fighting one another and pulled his sword, flying down, knocking them back as he'd slashed at them before they could attack Cat. Lucas and Cat looked surprised seeing Holy Dratamon, and he asked if they missed him. Since they were unaware of Holy Dratamon, they'd question if that was Nicole, and he'd answered naturally, before turning ready to join the fight, asking who's the one they'd take down. Lucas says the one that he just attacked, and Cat says also the one with the big pinwheel and the one with the big blaster arm. Nodding, he'd put his sword away and gestured to the 3 of them, going, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mon," before charging at Jet Silphamon, with Lady Devamon fighting Gigasmon beside Snowy Anjuamon. Meanwhile, Wyvermon was fighting Magna Garurumon with his partner Dark Tyrannomon. As Holy Dratamon had flown at Jet Silphamon, she'd created a powerful turbulence with their giant pinwheel, making Nicole switch to using his Drata Buster on his left arm, and fired several shots, busting apart the pinwheel, hitting it dead center. After stopping the wind, our Digidestined leader pulled his sawed-off shotguns and began firing at the Digimon with the now broken pinwheel, causing her to have to flee as he continued to blast at her, managing to clip one of their wings before flying forward and switching to his sword again, slashing them in two and absorbing their data, leaving behind only the human and beast spirits of wind. After taking them out, Nicole called out for Wyvermon and Dark Tyrannomon to tag out, flying toward Magna Garurumon to go and fight them, with Lucas and his Digimon partner changing focus onto Gigasmon while dodging the attack of the knights that were trying to take down each other. As Holy Dratamon was fighting Magna Garurumon, the Unified Spirit Digimon called out that ganging up is unfair, though a voice called out that they weren't any better. They turned to the boy saying Panjamon, who kicked Magna Garurumon in the face, before reminding them he's literally combined 10 different spirits to take that form. Growing angry, he'd had enough and unleashed everything at once, calling out Machine Gun Destroy as he fired literally every projectile he had at the group all at once, with Anjuamon pushing Cat and Lady Devamon out of the way, taking the blow herself, while the others dodged, trying to avoid the onslaught. Kulamon created a crystal barrier around himself and the other Digimon that weren't fighting. Though it had cracked pretty bad, he'd managed to hold it just until the end, where all of the projectiles had finally stopped, shattering at the very end. Cat and Lady Devamon checked on Anjuamon, asking if she was alright, with Gadramon watching, seeing it as strange and interesting that an angel would protect a demon of all things. Anjuamon said that she could feel herself fading, but wanted to give what was left of her power over to the two she'd believed in, telling Lady Devamon to take in her power and use it to stop them, as she'd begun glowing a strange colored light, with Lady Devamon glowing in a different strange colored light as well. The fallen angel said that she would accept her last gift and use it to save everyone that she could. Nodding, Anjuamon's power began to blend together with Lady Devamon, causing her whole body to glow as she'd become a new form. The form that Lady Devamon had become after taking that power of Anjuamon stood now ready to fight. She'd had 6 demon-like wings on one side and 6 angel-like wings on the other, along with white, black, and silver-colored armor. Calling herself Mastamon, she'd prepared to fight with renewed vigor, as Dark Tyrannomon had also begun glowing along with Lucas, as they'd ignited a light and blaze of Digivolution of their own. Lucas's partner had digivolved into a humanoid form that had most of its body in armor and machine parts, going by Andromon, with Lucas calling out that he's had enough of them, as the multi-tool began glowing, sending out 3 red orbs that stopped above his head and taken physical shape, revealing the Digimental of Courage, the Human Spirit of Flame, and the Beast Spirit of Flame, before the 3 had combined together along with him to take on a new form as well. The new form he'd taken on was an armored Digimon that has a bladed helmet along with wings, and a new armor that appeared to be a combination of the armors worn by the human and beast spirits of flame, along with parts of the Digimental as well. In this new form, he'd called himself Dragumon, and his partner had called himself Andromon, as they prepared to fight as well.